Say that again.
I'm pretty sure you found a Sasquatch here.
So I found this on
Look what's right behind you.
a branch, yes. Look what's right behind us, hurricane tree.
Do you have a place to throw this?
Hello, and welcome to Modern Explorer Field Investigations. Join Mateo and I as we kayak down the Arkansas River, something we've never done before. We only go partway down, but we're looking for hurricane trees and any other sign of Sasquatch as we go down. We find a lot of very interesting stuff. So much so that we actually have to bring in an expert, a taxidermist friend of ours, to help us interpret what we find. So join us as we go on this adventure, and I'll see you on the other side.
All right, so we've been having quite the fantastic and journey. It's been difficult, but it's been very rewarding so far. We've gone through the Arkansas River. It's a lot more difficult than it initially thought, but we're learning a lot really quick. We capsized already once, like we ran into bushes several times. Like it's been pretty gnarly. But so far, it's been worth it. Let me show you what Glenn found when we came over here.
As we're going down the river, we're seeing some hurricane trees. We found some here and we're approaching them. We're going to take video of what we see. Again, our theory about hurricane trees is that they're on the shore watching. We're going to try and confirm that with video. So thanks for coming with us. And here we go. Say that again.
I'm pretty sure you found a Sasquatch here.
So I found this on
Look what's right behind you.
On a branch, yes. Look what's right behind us, hurricane tree.
Do you have a place to store this?
Of course not. I'll have to go. I grabbed some Ziplocs and I put them in the bag. Let's video this, but I want to get a good view of that. Take it to Jerry. Oh my goodness.
So what I want to check here is there's a bedding area where.
Okay, here I'll take that.
Yeah, hold on to this. I think you found Sasquatch here. Like there's another other animal that's gonna look like that. It's like robust human here.
Yeah. And this was at about 4 feet off the ground. Look at these. There's that nest thing that we're finding everywhere else.
But that means they were just here. Look at this. This squid cage is broken.
Holy cow.
This is
This is,
yeah, you found Sasquatch here. I mean, we'll look at it under a microscope to better confirm, but.
holy cow. This is really intriguing. Well, this is worth the trip so far.
Oh yeah, I mean the whole thing's worth it.
We just don't know.
We were not prepared for the water.
The adventure of kayaking. No. So there are definitely moo cows here, but no moo cow climbed up a tree.
Well, yeah, I know. I don't think a cow has that long of hair.
No. No moo cow climbed up a tree and did this. Okay, so this is the path through. We just came in.
Oh, is there more on the branch?
There's still more on the branch, I think. I'll show it to you. And there's a well-worn game trail right here, for sure. Yeah, something walks here all the time. And certainly moo cow. But this was found on a branch back here. I just stepped in cow poop. It was caught on something like that. Yep. I was videoing. Where did I catch that? Crap, I was walking through here.
If that had been my hair, you would have heard me screaming like a little princess. Ow!
Look, more.
Did you at least film it?
More. No, not where I picked it up. Okay, here's where is this the one I picked it up on? There's something else here too. Lots of things catch on that. Is that cow? Let me bag it. The one I caught it on.
Yeah, that definitely looks like cow hair.
Okay, look at these. More busted up right up above us. Another nest directly above us. It's a level back from the river.
Glenn is trying to find hair samples up there.
And get out to the nest thing, whatever it is.
And so he's under the assessment that they are purchased. Which they very well may be, because I mean some of them look like that. But it does make you wonder if maybe bears are doing it, because they'll make nests, normally they're more intricate, but they would be safe up there. I just don't see maybe a younger Sasquatch. I don't know.
From here.
The hair samples will reveal a lot.
Yeah, and I'm not seeing hair up here. One would think I would find hair. Oh, I'm lying. I just found some hair.
Nice.
So here we are down in the thicket where I found the hair. This is the thickest, it's just thick like this. There are definitely cow tracks through here. Cow pie, cow track, all sorts of stuff. But the reason we pulled over was because of the hurricane tree. Now I'm going to try and follow my own tracks, my old track, and find more of that hair. I don't know what it is. Not saying it's Sasquatch, but it might be. It is very fine, very long. It might be cow. I don't know. We're going to take it to some other people that know stuff more than we do. Looking closely to find hair. I'm going to grab that. So I just found this on this. This is about 2 feet off the ground underneath the tree. Okay, coming into the next grove. I just saw that. Now certainly cows come in and out through here. But there's this tree. It's an old Russian olive. But that caught my attention. And as I come around here, certainly cow pies. As I come around here, another nest type of thing. These two branches have no stump. That has no stump. That has a stump. That has no stump. That's crossed here. Hey, Mateo? Yo! Okay, I'm gonna explore more. I want to come back to this section. I want to show Mateo.
I can't say definitively.
Right.
But
Okay, so this, I'm just for my own, so this is placed. That's not planted. That's not coming out of a stump. It comes up. This is placed between them. Goes between there and up. This is placed. It goes up, gets kind of threaded through and up into this. It's been here for a long time. Look at the chafing on this. A lot of chafing on that tree.
so, like, backstory really quick is we were coming through. We're slowly getting better at this, taking more risks as we learn how to navigate the river. And then we found all these breaks along the river, like we've been finding further down. And so we go check the breaks out. There's also a lot of cattle in this area. We ran into a cow. So there's a ranch like behind us, a large one of some kind. But Glenn found this on a tree about 4 feet up?
About 4 feet up.
So I
It's
don't.
a serious break.
Yeah, and this is right next to the break area. So I don't know anything off the top of my head besides human hair that would look like this and be this long. And it's still coarse, kind of like the ones that I have found too. So we're gonna bag it and we're gonna go right back in to see what we can find. Because that was just on the preliminary investigation. Like, we just did a little recon, and this is us back at the kayak after we found this, and we're gonna go back in again and see what else we can find.
I'm a man.
Yeah.
Tag it and bag it, baby.
Woohoo! And as you can tell, like, we're in the middle of like nowhere here along the river.
Holy cow. These hairs are probably 7-8 inches long.
Yeah, they're definitely long. And when we look at them under a microscope and have some people that know more about hair identify them or not be able to identify them, that'll give us the physical evidence we need to tie in everything that's going on here. It's about 2:30 right now, and we are calling it a day. So we're eating our wet and soggy and compressed hamburgers from Carl's Jr. But we found some stuff. We found a lot of awesome stuff. You know, those hair samples. I can't wait to check out the hair, inspect it. And so right now, Glenn's really excited. He's trying to find himself on reception to call the people he's been working with and talking to in this area. They've been helping us out. And yeah, so we're gonna go further down the river, hopefully without any issues, until we get to the bridge where Glenn's wife's gonna come pick us up and take us home. And we're gonna try to see if we can identify, or at least like have Jerry, the taxidermist, who knows a lot about like hairs from what he works with, to see if he can identify it right off the bat and go from there. So gonna finish eating, you're gonna pack up, and we're gonna head down a little further and hopefully get bailed out. But next time we'll be a little more prepared, but we need to build up the skill set first. Till then.
Okay, so here we are, another turnout. More red branches broken off. Well, this might be just natural, I don't know, but this over here is what really caught my attention. Then I saw that one. This is not the natural breaks. More of the same crap. I can only see it from the outside. This is what I saw. Same type of stuff. Right on the riverbank. That seems to be a real consistent thing. That these shapes are on the riverbank. not inland. It's Mateo inside there. I don't see from here the same stuff. Okay, so if I'd continued panning, I would have seen this. It's the same thing. Stripped, broken. Again, right out watching over and on a riverbank. I just keep videoing these, not because it's anything new, but just to show you it's consistent. But even down here, it's broken off. That's on the ground. It is still a mystery. They do appear to be on the outer edges of thickets, though. But see, it's not on all the trees. I'm just videoing for consistency. Yet, here we find this again on the outside. What? Okay. Let me ask you this, because I just don't get this. If a bear climbed up and broke that off, right? Let's just for argument's sake, a bear climbed up and broke that off. What did he climb up? How did he get to that tree, to that branch? And it's bent this way.
I mean, he could have gone in through right here, or right in through here, pushed up. But normally, what they do is they'll stand up and like grab it, bring it towards them.
Yeah, that got bent and pulled that way, but there's no broken branches going up through here. That's what I'm.
Well, there is broken branches through here.
Okay, but I mean not off the
up.
stump. That's
because if it is a bear, it stood up right in here, or even came like through here, like this. You see these broken, up like this, and then like brought it down and then broke that onto the sides.
Okay, for giggles here. Hold this. I'm gonna pull this down. Okay, this is just for argument's sake. Now, this branch was going up that way. So it's, I don't know. It's kind of bent and twisted.
I don't know.
I'm just trying to figure out, how did that branch on this side of the branch, how did on this side of the branch get ripped off if they came up from that side?
But why would a bear or a Sasquatch be ripping this?
I don't know. But I'm just wondering how. I don't even care why. I just wonder how. So today, Mateo and I went out adventuring, looking for some of these Russian olive trees that have the broken branches and such. We found one, and around it, we were poking around, just wandering through the bush, seeing what we could see, and I stumbled across a branch sticking up out of the ground, and that was snapped off, a tree or bush or something, just a single stick, basically, broken off. And hanging off of it were these hairs. I laid one of them down, and you will see, starting at 1 inch, or starting at 0, and let me line that up. Starting at 0, this hair is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.25 inches long. I can't think of any animals that live in the wild in Colorado that have hairs that are 9¼ inches long. It's pretty crazy. There it is. Right there, that's Mateo's hair, that light colored thing right there. So you can see the relative thickness. It's a little heavier than his hair. I'm going to take that off so we don't mix it up. Hey there, so brought the hair samples that we have towards our friend Jerry. Is the taxidermist, what, 35 years?
Yep.
So he knows hairs, and we're probably going to go downstairs, maybe, depending on what he thinks about these hairs. He has not seen these yet. I wanted to catch his reaction as to what we're going to get. So I'm going to turn the phone around, flip it, and then change it so we can see. Over, that's the pile.
There's our pile.
And I taped the one to the single sheet.
Holy buckets. That's a long one, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know if you wanted to see the names of where these places were.
Oh, it's.
Or not.
I've been telling where it is, but
Is it?
we don't necessarily need to so people
Interesting.
see.
That is a long hair. I think that's longer than my calipers.
9¼ inches.
Wow. Okay. Very human-like, isn't it?
It is. And these are some of the other. This I think came off the same stick, but
Yeah. First glance, instantly, that tells me.
I crammed them all on the same.
Yeah.
I'll have to look my video and see if that came off the same stick.
Yeah.
It may not have. And then these other ones I found came off of different locations.
Yeah.
So I'll have to look at my video and review where I got these all
That actually
from.
has hair follicles on it, doesn't it? There's hair follicles, right? You can see the follicles where they're sitting right there.
Okay.
There's several of them with the follicles on it, so it's like it was pulled out at the root. So it goes with this one. Interesting. This one is. Thing's as straight as a string, isn't it?
Well, I pulled it tight,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, but
Still.
these are.
And it's broken on both ends, so there's no hair follicles on that one, so it's snapped off.
Here, if you want to open this up, you can. Those are the other
Ones that came with
the other
this
ones that came with it. I just stretched one out to get an average, length.
Well, it's finer than horsehair.
Okay, that was our concern. Now there were cattle in this area, moo cows. Wondering if this is
Well, and that's the
cow
thing.
tail hair.
Is
that a possibility?
My thought that if it depended on the height of the branch,
It's about
that you
3.5 feet off the ground.
so it very possibly could be a cow tail, flicking his tail.
Okay.
Um,
I just didn't know cows had tails with this
yeah,
long of hair.
right? Yeah. So that's interesting. That's that group. So
And then one of these I got up in the tree by the broken branches.
up pretty high.
Yes.
Okay.
And another one I just found in a different area. And I broke these up. I gave Mateo a kit of this as well.
Well, that appears to me to be raccoon.
Okay.
This looks like a piece of thread.
It may very well be.
Yeah, that's thread.
Okay. So toss that out.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so these.
So this looks like raccoon fur.
Okay.
And obviously we can check that against some different furs. Raccoons can vary in color, anywhere from almost solid black to a reddish brown.
Okay.
And depending on seasonal too, their hair will change color a little bit.
Okay.
But
So one of these I found up by the broken red branches, which makes me think maybe it is raccoon doing this stuff, but Or scratch that.
Yeah, this is awful red. This looks more like cow fur here. This looks more like raccoon. This looks more like a young cow fur.
I think I took video of where I gathered these. I was so excited to find hair. I wasn't gathering.
This is the one that intrigues me the most. The length of these, and these were up about 3 feet.
About 3 feet.
No, that high.
It's not that high.
A cow could flick its tail. What were they hooked on? Because they're broke. They're not pulled out.
There was a broken branch coming up out of the ground and it had split and caught in the wet. Where it had split, where these things caught.
Yeah. And it does look like it was pulled out. And down along the river, especially now, the tails are moving all the time.
Right.
The mosquitoes are, doing their thing, and depending on the time they go for water, how bad the mosquitoes are.
And there were cow tracks all. I mean, obviously, we saw the cows.
Right.
But I didn't know cows had this long of hair on their tails.
Yeah.
I'll have to go down to the dairy and just kind of verify that. But
were they dairy cows?
No, I don't know.
The Holstein.
Those
are fairly.
They're
dark.
Multicolor.
Yeah, that's the black and white ones are called Holsteins.
Holsteins, okay.
Mm-hmm. The red ones are your Angus, red Angus, black Angus.
Well, these are Holsteins then.
Yeah. You want to be careful with Holsteins. If there's females or even young bulls in that area, they can be extremely aggressive.
Okay. Interestingly,
Holsteins are some of the meanest cows there are. Dairy cows, the heifers not so much with their, going in and getting used to getting milked every day. But some of the bulls, my grandfather had a friend killed by his own bull.
Wow.
That he raised from a calf, squished him to death on the barn. The size of this really hollers out to me raccoon. So, especially with the longer black hairs in here, which are what you saw in the foxes and the wolf, they do the same thing. They have the tan, the brown, or whatever. This could be bear, very possibly, because it's super, super fine, and it could be a young bear. We have a lot of red bears and cinnamon and chocolates down here.
Sure. Okay.
Very few blacks.
Okay.
But they are black bear by the species. Ursus something, I forget.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Okay. Well, thank you. This is huge. It's just every step is a step of trying to find, answers and we're drawn to these areas just to see, but we don't know have no idea what's doing this stuff to these trees, and I've always suspected it could be bear. We are finding some claw marks on these things. So I'm not ruling it out by any means. I'm just finding it curious. And then the guard hairs you're calling, these are the long hairs. That's called a guard hair.
Yeah, guard hairs. Then you have his downy underlayer. This is a midsummer. He does not have a good fur. This is probably a roadkill that happened. There's just not a lot of color or fur. So the density is very short. But see, if you pulled this just one hair by itself, you go, oh, what's that? You can't even get one out.
Can't even get one out.
You go, that could be off a coyote. That could be off of anything.
Sure.
Until you have something to do. But see, that's why they call them silver guard.
Well, it's crazy. I'm just looking at the how
the downy look.
The downy look inside there is.
Yep.
As I learn this stuff, it's just every step you learn something, and it's like let's dispel this, let's dispel that, which is awesome. But then
you can see the different colors. There's browns and tans and reds. This belly fur, obviously, is what you're seeing here, and it's usually, especially under the armpits, it's the finest. The back and guard hairs are usually the heaviest. So.
Well, and also it's like these trees. I mean, I would imagine if a bear climbs up, busts some of this off, a raccoon's going to climb up just as well. So you're going to get multiple different hairs. So you'll get 2 or 3 different animals up in there.
You probably won't see the claw marks of a raccoon because they don't weigh enough. You'd really have to be.
How big do raccoons get?
Oh, the biggest one I've seen is 95 pounds.
Wow, that's a good size raccoon.
I'm telling you, they can get huge. This is probably a yearling.
Okay.
So, they'll get that wide.
Yeah.
And 3 times as long.
Wow.
And they're ferocious little wrigglers. They're smart, but they are ferocious.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for bringing this guy out last minute here. I appreciate it.
I knew I had one.
Well, that was pretty disappointing, I gotta admit. Finding the hares was an awesome time. Going out with Mateo and adventuring, that was great. We had a blast, even though we sank a couple of times. Bringing the hares to Jerry is something that was important to do for us as well as for you. And I really appreciate his time and sharing his expertise of 35 years in the taxidermy business, dealing with hides and hairs and fur, and really have a deep understanding of what's going on there. So Jerry, thank you very much. As for the hare from up in the tree, yeah, I could see that as being a raccoon, but I don't think that raccoon did all that damage. I don't see a raccoon breaking 2, 3, 4-inch diameter branches, nor do I see a raccoon breaking branches 2, 3, or 4 times. We're finding a lot more of this stuff. So far, we have found, I think, 10 hurricane trees. There's something else going on down there. They all fit the same profile. So join us as we continue adventuring down the Arkansas River, down in the Swallows, as Mateo's up in the springs poking around and having fun up there. We're trying to solve this mystery, or at least get answers further down the road, kick the ball a little further. So join us as we adventure, and thank you for coming along. As always, please subscribe. We really would appreciate that. And also, if you or anybody you know has an encounter, a sighting, something else, or just an odd story that they would like to share, please email us at encounters@modernexplorer.me. As always, thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you on the next trip.